A very good morning to the teachers, parents and students. I'm Mayuri Balasubramanian from SJKT Ladang Aitawa and the moderator for today's session. Before I start, I would like to thank all of you for joining us today in our YouTube live classroom, which is brought to you by Sudaroli Valaiyoli YouTube channel in collaboration with the National Malaya Tamil School Teachers Union. I would like to convey our appreciation to the President of the Union and Headmaster of SJKT Bahansrai, Mr. R.P. Jayagopalan, and not to forget the team working hard for us behind the screen. Miss Parimala, our Education Officer from PPD Manjung, Mr. Gunalan, our Education Officer from PPD Manjung, Miss Pusparada, the headmistress of SJKT Kampung Columbia, Mr. Tanish Balakrishnan, the ICT teacher from SJKT Ladang Nova Scotia 1, and Miss Sarala Krishnan, the ICT teacher from SJKT Kampung Tun Samandan. I would like to thank Dato M. Saravanan, our Human Resource Minister, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Perak, Hilir Perak, Bagan Datuk, and Manjung District Education Office, eDIDIK, MindAppz, Pertubuhan Kesusasteraan Barathi, and the online media supporters, Dengan.com and Yen Tamil. Although schools are closed due to the period of lockdown, the spirit to educate our children will never fade among the educators. We greatly value and appreciate everyone's support towards Sudaroli Valaiyoli team. Your support helps to boost our confidence and motivate us to do more for our community. Please allow me to introduce the speaker of today's session. Her name is Puvanesuary Loganathan. She is from SJKT Bharati. She has been teaching English language and holding the post Head of English Language Panel of SJKT Bharati since 2015. There are a few reminders for all viewers, especially the students. First, please use the chat box to write positive comments. Second, use appropriate language. Third, use live chat to ask questions about today's topic. Fourth, don't post unnecessary emojis and unwanted messages because it will distract the others. If anyone against this rule, the admin will block you from the live chat. Hope all of you understand the rules. Kindly subscribe this channel and click the notification bell for upcoming classes. Without further ado, I would like to pass the session to our speaker today to start the lesson. Dear students, let's explore the topic prepositions together. Miss.Puvanesuary, you may start now.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Bagan Datuk District Education Office Head Puan Kasmiati Binti Katiman and my school headmaster Mr. Gobal Govindaraju for their support. Next, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Sudaroli Valaiyoli Committee for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this web-based teaching and learning journey. So children, as you are aware, today we are going to learn about prepositions. The link for the online quiz will be given towards the end of my presentation. So I really hope that you will stay focused on the presentation so that later on you can excel in the online quiz. So children, are you ready? Let's begin. So children, before we get into the lesson, let us. So first, I will expose you to the definition of preposition in general, and then we will look into the types of prepositions. After that, I will narrow down today's lesson to prepositions of time, followed up by discussion on common errors with prepositions of time. At Let's Revise session, we will recall all the prepositions of time that you will be learning today. And finally, at quiz time is where I will test your understanding on today's lesson. Okay, children, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, first, let's look at the definition of preposition. So what is preposition? A preposition links a noun or noun in a sentence. Now let's look at the examples. Okay, children, please look at the picture. So you can see that a boy and a girl are playing at the playground. Okay, let's read the sentence together. Sam is playing with Sophia at the playground. So here, preposition with is used to link Sam with Sophia. Whereas preposition at is used to link Sam and Sophia to the playground. Now let's look at another example. They are playing happily at the playground. So in this sentence, link they to the playground. So children, I hope now you understand the basic concept of preposition. Now, there are three types of prepositions. Prepositions of time, prepositions of place or location, prepositions of direction. But as for today's lesson, our focus will be only on prepositions of time. So what are prepositions of time? Can you guess, children? Find out together. Prepositions of time tell us when something happened, happens, or will happen. Okay? So children, there are 7 types of prepositions of time that we usually use in our sentences. They are at, on, in, before, after, by, during. So guys, today we are going to explore all these prepositions. Let's begin with the first preposition of time. Okay, at. So when do we use preposition at? Before I tell you that, please look at the picture next to it. What picture is that, children? Obviously, it's a clock. Okay. What is the function of clock? Why do we use a clock? Definitely to measure time. Very good. So now, can you guess when do we use at? If you say it's for time, you are brilliant. Yeah. So at is used to show specific times. In another word, we can say that at is used to show precise times. For example, but it also includes exception such as at night. Now let's look at the examples. So we use preposition at for at 7 p.m. At 2 o'clock. At breakfast. At lunch. At night. At the moment. At sunset. So children, if you notice, is an clock time, whereas at breakfast and at lunch represent meals of the day. It could be at supper, at tea time, okay, at dinner, whereas at night represent parts of the day, but it is a special case. Only for night and midnight we use at. Okay, please take note of this, children. And whereas at the moment and at sunset represent specific times. Now let's look at how to use preposition at in sentences. Sam writes poems at night. At breakfast, Jessie didn't say a word. So if you notice here, we use preposition at to talk about what happened at a specific time. Do you get what I mean, children? Hope you are. Now let's move on to the next preposition, on. Okay, let's look at the picture next to it. What can you see in the picture? Yeah, it's a calendar, but there are specifically two information on this calendar. Can you tell me what are they? Date. You are right. Clever kids. So, when do we use preposition on? Yeah, you are right. We use preposition on for days of the week, dates, and also for special days. Now let's look at the examples. On Monday, on Fridays, on Sunday morning, on Father's Day, on my birthday, on 6th April 2020, on May 6th. So children, if you notice, represent days, whereas on Father's Day and on my birthday represent special days. It could be on Mother's Day, on Teacher's Day, on Deepavali night, okay? Whereas on 60th April 2020 and May 6th represent dates. Do you follow me, children? Good. Now let's look at the examples on how to use preposition on in sentences. Let's read this together. We go swimming on Mondays. So children, please take note that there is a difference between on Monday. You are referring to the upcoming Monday, okay? Whereas when you say on Mondays, you're talking about every Monday. Now let's look at the second example. Christmas is celebrated on December 25th. Kevin hugged and wished his father on Father's Day. So children, I hope now you understand when to use preposition on. Let's move on to the next preposition, which is in. So when do we use in? Look at the picture carefully. What can you see in the picture? Umbrella, a colorful ball under it, and June 2020. So can you guess when do we use in? If you say it's for months and years, you got it right. Yes. In is used for parts of the days, months, years, seasons, centuries, and longer period of time. Okay? Now let's look at the examples. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in 1991, in the 21st century, in summer, in 2 hours. So children, if you notice, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening represent parts of the day. So I told you, right, except for night and midnight, for the other parts of the day, we use in. Whereas in July represents months. In 1991 represents years. In the 21st century represents seasons. So we also have other seasons such as winter, spring, and autumn. So we say in summer, in autumn, in winter. Okay, children. And in 2 hours represents periods of time. So it could be in 2 minutes, in 2 weeks, in 2 months, or even in 2 years. Do you get me what I mean, children? Well done. Now let's look at the examples on how to use preposition in sentences. Now let's read this together. They go jogging in the morning. It's always cold in January. He was born in 1991. In summer, Peter goes on vacation. The Second World War happened in the 20th century. In 3 months, I'll finish my studies. So children, I hope that now you understand when to use preposition in, on, and at. So here, I've prepared a song so that it will be easier for you to recall when to use in, on, and at. Are you ready? How
Preposition of time in for year, season, and month. On for day and for day. At for time, at noon, at night. At sunrise on Christmas Day. In the morning on Monday.
So children, did you enjoy the song? Well, I know I shouldn't be asking you this question because my voice is not as sweet as Shreya Ghoshal's, but still I really hope that this song will come in handy for you when you want to recall when to use in, on, digest all this information. Okay, take your time, look at the lyrics, try to recall what we have learned so far. Okay, so hope you are done. Let's move on to the next preposition, which is before. So when do we use before? Before indicates any time previous to a specific point in time. Okay, children, now I want you to focus on the direction to which the before arrow move. Can you do that for me? Okay, let's look at the arrow together. So to which direction did the arrow Obviously, it was to the left. So this indicate before is used to talk about something or some event that happened earlier to another event. Now let's look at the examples. Can you read this for me, children? Robin was nervous before the interview. So this is Robin. Look at him. He looks so nervous. So this sentence tells us how Robin felt sometime earlier to the interview. Okay? Now let's look at another example. Did his homework before playing football. So children, this sentence tells us that Sam first completed his homework. That is an earlier action that he did before he went out to play football. So please bear in mind that we use before to talk about what happened earlier compared to another event. Okay, children, let's move on to the next preposition. After. So after indicates a following event from a point of time. Okay. So I want you to focus on the direction to which the after arrow move. Okay, let's look at the arrow together. So which direction did it move, children? Is it to the right or to the left? Yeah, you are right. It moves to the right. So this indicates after is used to show what happened next or what happened next. Okay? So please let that information sink in. Let's digest that information first. We use after to talk about what happened or what happened next. Now let's felt confident after the interview. Now look at Robin. He looks so cheerful and confident. Am I right, children? Yeah. So this sentence tells us how Robin felt after his interview, after finishing his interview session. Okay? Well, let's look at another example. After playing football, Ramu went home. Okay, so this sentence tells us that Ramu first played football and right after finished playing, he straight away headed home. So the word after here tells us what? Hope you understand the concept. Okay, children. Now let's move on to the next preposition, which is by. Okay, now let's look at the picture. What can you see in the picture? I'm sure you have seen this in some movies. What is that? What we call that? Yeah, it is an hourglass, or you can call it as sand timer. Okay, and why do we use sand timer? If you say to measure time, yes, you are right. Brilliant kids. So we use our glass to measure. Slowly through the narrow neck of the glass, you know that the time is ticking. You know that it's going to end soon. So can you guess when do we use by? Try to link the concept with the preposition by. If you say something like time limit or end time, bravo kids. Because we use by to show a time limit for something to happen. And it also means not later than. Now let's look at the examples. Okay, let's read this. Me to complete the assignment by Sunday. So what do you understand by this sentence? Anyone? Yeah, so this sentence tells you that my teacher asked me to submit my assignment by Sunday. So Sunday is the due date. Okay? Now let's look at another example, which is very easy. Can you read that for me? My father promised to be back by 7 p.m. So this sentence tells you that my father will be home not later than 7. Now let's look at the last preposition of today's lesson, which is during. So can you tell me when do we use during? I'm sure you have used this word in your section C when you begin your sentence like, during last summer holiday, my family and I went to my grandparents' orchard. So what do you mean by during? Come on, think children. I give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, let's find out together. So, during is used with nouns in order to say what happens within a period of time. So, a period of time means duration. We talk about what happens through the entire time. Examples. Robert was sleeping during the film. So this sentence tells you that throughout the whole movie time, Robert was sleeping. Maybe it was a boring movie that made him to sleep throughout the whole movie time. Okay, next example. I learned some vocabulary during the lesson. So maybe that lesson could be 1 hour lesson or 2 hour lesson. So during that particular 1 hour lesson, I learned some new words. This is what you understand based on the sentence. And the last example will be, Meera loves going on a vacation during summer. And this sentence tells you that Mira in summer, she loves to just pack her things and go on a vacation. So children, I really hope that you understand when do we use all the 7 prepositions of time. So before we proceed, can you list down all the 7 prepositions of time that we have learned today? Yeah, we learned at, on, in, before, after, by, during. Bravo kids, you got it right. Way to go. Okay, now let's look at the common errors with prepositions of time. Okay, so when we tend to make mistakes when we use this preposition, so let's find out how to use them properly or in a correct manner. In a correct to exercise in night. So what's wrong here? So the correct sentence will be, I like to exercise at night. Remember the special case? Okay, so children, please take note. We use in for parts of the days such as in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Whereas for night, midnight, and also noon, we use at night, at midnight. So these are special cases. Okay. Now let's look at the second mistake. Let's meet on next Tuesday. So this sentence is wrong. Why? So days. Am I right? And which preposition do we use for days? We use on. Yeah, you are right. But why is this sentence is wrong? Okay, let's find out. The correct sentence would be, let's meet on Tuesday. Okay, so children, please take note. Normally, we use on for days. For example, let's meet on Tuesday. Let's meet on Mondays, if you want to say every Monday. Okay? But if you want to use last or next in your sentence before days, okay, you no need to use preposition on. You just omit it. Meet next Tuesday, or we met last Tuesday. If you want to use on, your sentence will be, let's meet on Tuesday. We met on Tuesday. Okay? You cannot use both in one sentence. It's either on or next. It's either on or last. Do you get what I mean, children? I'm sure you do, because you all are clever kids. Very good. Now let's look at the third mistake. Peter was born at 1st January 2018. Okay, so it says this sentence is wrong. Let's find out the correct one. Peter was born on 1st January 2018. Okay, so children, please take days of the week, dates and special days. For example, on Monday, on 3rd of May, on Mother's Day, on Father's Day, on Teacher's Day. Okay? Good. So Here we are. We are going to revise all the 7 prepositions of time that we have learned together. Okay, let's do it together, children. At. Okay, so can you tell me when do we use at? Remember, I gave you a picture next to each preposition in the slides so that you can link the picture to the preposition and understand the concept. Okay, because picture make it easier for us to understand a concept. So remember, for at I gave you a clock picture. So when do we use at? For example, at night, at 9 p.m., at sunset. Okay, so how about preposition on? Remember, for preposition on, I gave you a picture of a calendar but with 2 special information. Can you tell me what are they? Yeah, date and day. So, on is used for days, dates, and special days. For example, on Tuesday, on May 2nd, on Deepavali Eve, on Christmas Day. Okay, children? Hope you are following me. Okay. Now, next preposition in. So, what picture did I give you in the that colorful umbrella and colorful ball? Okay. And also the word under that June and 2020. So, the umbrella symbolizes summer seasons. Okay, during summer people use umbrella to protect themselves from UV light. Am I right? So umbrella represents seasons. June represents months and 2020 represents years. So we use in for parts of the days, months, years, seasons, centuries, and longer period of time. For example, in the morning, in May, in 2020, in winter, in the 21st century, in okay. Now, preposition before. When do we use this? Now recall. Still remember the arrow? Okay, which direction did it move? Was it to the left or to the right? Before. Yeah, it was to the left. So before indicates any time previous to a specific point in time. For example, I was fat before exercising. Now think about after. So after, the arrow moves to the right. So it indicates a following event from a point in time, or it indicates what happens or what happened next. For example, I became sleepy. For you to understand before and after, try to think of it in pair. Try to compare the concept. Before, earlier, it talk about earlier event, whereas after talk about what happens or happened next. Okay? Well, how about by? Okay, still remember the hourglass? Yeah, so by shows a time limit for something to happen. For example, you must submit your assignment by Sunday. So Sunday is the time limit. It is the end time for you to do the assignment. So always remember by, we use by to talk about the end time. And finally, during. Okay, so during the keyword duration or within a period of time. We talk about what happens within a period of time. For example, during last school holidays, I did. You understand all the 7 prepositions of time. Okay, take some time to read the slides again so that you will gain better understanding of the concept. Okay, now it's the quiz time. Let's check how much you have understood today's lesson. Okay, children, before we move on further on the quizzes, I want to introduce to a technique, what we call as a RUST technique, for you to find the correct answer for question based on prepositions, or it can also be used for other objective questions. So R stands for read. You must read the question or read the statements given. Next, U stands for understand and underline. So you must understand the question and next underline the keywords. Whereas S stands for. Now let's read the first question. The little girl came to school dash 8 o'clock. Okay. So first step done, are done. So now you understand and underline the keyword. So in this sentence, as we are talking about prepositions of time, so our keyword would be words related to time. For example, clock times, days of the week, months, years. Okay, so what is the keyword here? Yeah, if you say 8 o'clock, bravo kids. Give a pat on your shoulder, well done. So this is a keyword. Okay, 8 o'clock represent specific time. It represent clock time. So which preposition do we use for clock time? Okay. Yeah, if you say at, you are right. So the answer would be the at. The little girl came to school at 8 o'clock. Well done. Okay. Now let's read this together. The monsoon season begins dash November. Okay. Rasa, remember the rest technique RUS. Okay, read. We have read the question. Now understand and underline. So what is the keyword here? If you say November, you are right, because November indicates months. So which preposition do we use for months? Okay. Still remember the calendar? Yeah, so the answer is in. Great job. So the monsoon season. Now let's look at the third question. The pots need to be cleaned dash you can use them. Okay, so this question is a little tricky because you have to understand the question in order to find the keyword, because here the keyword is not obvious. So if you notice, the keyword here is need to be cleaned. This question is talking about, this sentence is talking about what you need to do earlier if you want to use a pot. So which arrow? Is it the arrow that moves to the left or to the right? So which preposition? Earlier. Try to recall. Come on. Yeah, if it is earlier event is what we are talking about. So the answer is before. Now let's look at the fourth question. Mother usually goes to the market dash the weekends. Okay. Well, can you tell me what is the keyword here? Yeah, the weekends is the keyword. And what does it represent? The weekends represent a period of time. Okay, they're talking about something that they do within the period of time. So which preposition do we use for that? Is it by? Is it on? Or is it during? Think. Yeah, the answer is during. Well done. Please hand in your work dash Friday. Okay. So what is the keyword here? Understand and underline the keyword. Second step. Okay. Friday. Yes, you are right. And Friday represent days of the week. But if you read the sentence, you'll notice that they are talking about an end time, a time limit. So which preposition do we use to indicate time limit? Do you still remember the hourglass with the green sand? Yeah, we use by for time limits. Yeah, so please hand in your work by Friday. And this is the last question. The drama practice. Okay. So what is the keyword? This is very easy, children. What is the keyword? Tuesdays. And Tuesdays represent days of the week. So which preposition do we use for days of the week? It is obviously on. Okay, bravo kids. So children, I really hope that you understood today's lesson on preposition of time. Hope you have enjoyed today's lesson and thank you.
It was a wonderful session. Thank you for the clear explanation on exploring prepositions, teacher. I hope all the students understand today's session very well. I hope the students have learned something new. Teacher, can you conclude on today's lesson?
So children, if you could recall, today we have learned 7 prepositions of time, which are at, in, on, before, after, by, and during. And some of you might wonder, because you would have seen that at, in, and on also can be used as preposition of places and location. Okay, so I hope there will be some other teacher we will conduct a lesson on preposition of location. So don't get confused. At, in, and on can be used both as prepositions of time and also preposition of place and location. That's all, teacher. That's all, children. Thank you.
Dear students, please don't leave because the link for the quiz will be given to you at the end of the session. I think the admin can post the link now. Thank you, teacher, for your clear explanation on questions and topic. On the behalf of the Sudaroli Valaiyoli team, we would like to thank Miss.Puvanesuary for spending a time and giving some useful information. Special thanks to all our viewers out there for being with us throughout the session, whether on YouTube or Facebook Live. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. That's all for today. Meet you again in the next lesson. Take care and bye.